the immunity decision over a year ago, which was a surprising decision. As a former judge, it was a surprising decision because the issue in front of the court was whether the charges of which Trump had been, whether or not one could be immunized from the hush money case, whether one could be immunized from the kinds of cases that he was then facing. In the middle of the argument, it was just can't be immunized from these charges. That's what judges look at, is the case in front of you. Justice Gorsuch leaned over and said, we're writing a decision for the ages. That's what legislators do. They think beyond this case in front of you to think about the next 10 cases or the
So
future.
that's not the business.
That is not the business of a court. And when they were trying to come up with a case for the ages, they wound up immunizing way more conduct that we're now seeing with Trump than they ever should have. It was a shocking decision. If anyone recalls that during the oral argument, I think it was Justice Kagan, who said, or Sotomayor, who said, does that mean the president could employ SEAL Team 6 if it's part of his official duties to kill someone? And the answer had to be yes, if it's a part of his official duties. And so that was a decision that set the stage, which was stunning and way beyond what they needed to do. Then we've watched a succession of emergency shadow docket. Everyone knows about emergency orders that have been putting the kibosh on efforts of the district courts to control Trump's power, to cabin his power. And it's not just that they've been doing so in, two-page decisions that, two-paragraph decisions that in something I wrote described as having all the formality of notes on a napkin. And now, but nevertheless, I still believed that the Supreme Court was doing what judges across the country was doing. This was initially believed, which is it is very hard to go up to the cliff of calling the government out and risking their noncompliance. That is a moment that no judge wants to get to, and certainly the Supreme Court didn't want to get to. The moment that you say, you're wrong, Trump, you've got to be doing X, and have a real constitutional crisis when he says, we're not going to do it. So I thought that these emergency orders were sort of dancing around to avoid that moment. I'm now not so sure.